It's a pleasure and honor to have on our Harmony Power broadcast Barry Bender. Before we begin, I just wanted to let the world know, everyone who watches this, is that this program is all about honoring the good in people and giving them an award after we do our broadcast, and knowing what they've done for the community and the world as it pertains to Harmony Power. Harmony Power was established, to really deal with the bullying crisis in America and abroad. And it's become a worldwide, issue, and it's something that we're dealing with in a worldwide way. And kids are recognized for the good they're doing. Kids have 33 days to change the world in their schools, in their communities. And this allowed us to have the first mandated anti-bullying program in a major worldwide city, in Elizabeth, New Jersey. And now we're being rolled out in New York City. It's being piloted in 5 boroughs next month. It's a very exciting time. I've been blessed to be a leadership resource, anti-bully resource for all New York City public schools. So it's a very exciting time for what we're doing. But I love honoring politicians, and why is because there's a negative rap in the political agendas and people that are in politics. I myself, I ran as a libertarian in the 10th district, New Jersey, as running for Congress, and it was a great experience for me. It's important to have that community service. That's what it's really about, right? So I'm interested in anyone who comes on here that's in politics. What have they done for the world, right? Because how are they going to deal with political agendas if they haven't done anything? They have no experience. And there's a lot of that, unfortunately. But I'm having you on my show because, we spoke a long time ago and I really liked you. And then you were recommended to come on the broadcast. So let me welcome Barry Bender. Please, I want to hear all about you, what you've done for your community. And, you're from the Green Party, you're running for Congress. I know that. What district? And please talk to us.
All right. Well, I'll first of all say thank you, John, for having me on. It's nice to meet you in person. We've talked a number of times. Um, I've been a lifelong resident, except for 1 year, of New Jersey. I was born up in Passaic County in a hospital that no longer exists in Passaic, New Jersey. I lived 6 weeks in a town called Carlstadt in Bergen County. And then my family moved to Monmouth County. I grew up in Middletown Township, little small part of Middletown Township called Leonardo, which is interesting. As we get into the politics, you'll hear the interesting part of it. As far as community service, I've been involved. Next year will be my 15th year as the logistics chairman for the Relay for Life of Berkeley and Lacey. Are you familiar with Relay for Life at
No,
all?
please educate me and the viewers. I would love to hear about
It's
that.
the American Cancer Society, run by the American Cancer Society, and they raise funds for the various programs and services that the American Cancer Society gives to people at no charge. Um, we basically raise money all during the year. And then I'm saying one particular night, we start at noon on a Saturday. We have basically set up campsites for
Mm.
teams. We have people make teams. They raise money as teams. And then on the night of the relay, we start at noon. We go till 6 a.m. the next morning. People
Wow.
walking around the track. And we have luminaria bags that people purchase that they put the names of people who are fighting cancer and people who they've lost to cancer. And that's really what drew me in years ago, is I showed up and they did the luminaria ceremony. And I said, this is for me. Because there's not this will be my 15th year. There's not a year where I don't cry when they light up the bags. I'm sorry, but
No, it's very dear to me what you're doing. I mean, I lost my uncle who was like a surrogate father about 2 years ago. It was devastating to watch the cancer eat away just slowly as I heard him scream in pain. It was horrible.
it's
And
horrible, absolutely
in
horrible. Uh,
hospice, it was terrible. And then
yeah.
I watched a little boy that I actually did a film about. It was produced. I wrote it, and it was a renowned producer who produced the film, named Leo Fong, about a boy who died of cancer. He died right on the street in his father's arms because of the chemo. So it's and my mother had cancer. She had breast cancer, and I watched her endure that. She survived, fortunately. So it's definitely an epidemic, and there's a whole lot of ways to prevent cancer.
Yep.
So I'm a big proponent of all of the healthy ways that we could prevent it. But you still need medicine when
Yeah.
all of that fails. And it's important to have these fundraisers so that they can have the resources to heal people. And
Yeah.
this is important. A lot of people can't afford it. They go broke trying to survive.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, a lot of people go broke with various medical, the insurance and et cetera. And we'll go into that later on. We get into politics also
Okay.
about insurance. But as a result of working with Relay for Life, I met a person. Basically, she lives from new drug to new drug. She's a cancer patient and she lives from new drug, but she was involved in something called ACS CAN. And ACS CAN is American Cancer Society Cancer Action Network, and they're the lobbying arm of the American Cancer Society. And I've been working with them probably, gosh, got to be 7, 8 years now. And we go and we visit our our state elected officials and ask them to fund cancer programs properly. We, give them little presentations about the various topics that are important this particular year. And then once a year, we go to DC, and from every single state, people come. We have these blue shirts that we wear. So when you go to DC on that day, there's a flood of blue shirts all over DC. Everyone visiting their elected officials and asking them to fund federal cancer, and most of the money, for research comes from the federal government. And we go there and we ask them to keep up the funding, to increase the funding, et cetera. And, there's a lot of things. One of the big things we're pushing for in the state this year was to eliminate smoking in the casinos. That's a big nut for us to crack. And they keep, turning their back on that, which
Yeah, well, they lose a lot
it's
of money if they
crazy.
do that because people aren't going to go to casinos as much if they can't smoke.
Well,
That's
most people, there've been polls. Most people said they would go to the casino more if there wasn't so
wow.
much smoke in the casino.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah, I got it.
seriously.
I'm schooled right now. I think that's amazing.
Yeah, seriously. But it's as if the lives of the people who work at those casinos are worth less than other people, and I'm sorry, that's hard to accept.
I think the
Yeah.
industry wants they're making a lot more money off of sick people. So, you know,
Well, the treating the symptoms is you spend a lot more money than, as they say, coming up with the cure. So I'm hoping that's not true, but
yeah.
sometimes you wonder. Sometimes you wonder.
I think there's a lot of cures for it, and
Hmm.
there's a lot of people have cured it just from fasting, 30 days, no food, and there's all kinds of things that people are
Yeah,
doing. It's not
yeah,
that one thing like there's a one of my clients that his wife had cancer, terribly, fourth stage twice, and revamped. This is a doctor, by the way, a renowned,
hmm,
prestigious doctor, very well-known doctor. I won't say the name. Whole family of doctors couldn't heal their own cancer, and ended up changing a whole way of eating. And then there was some type of cure that was not mainstream, cure to cancer. This is a doctor, a medical doctor. So it's out there. There are all kinds of things out there. I don't think it's a one thing cures everything. I think
no,
that each person, it's a holistic approach, and they have to be open to that. But
and
once again, there's a purpose of Western medicine as a last resort.
yeah. Well, there's new treatments now that we talk about when we go and visit the people in the state and federal,
Right.
where they are tailoring the treatment to your genetics,
Well, that's
which
different. See, that's what I'm saying. That's great.
yeah, yeah.
Great,
So
right?
there,
This is where it's all gonna go because I think that the industry is gonna learn that they'll make more money and they have more stability by ensuring people's health than their sickness. And there's an illusion that if they're sick, we'll profit more. I
yeah,
think it's the other way around. I think if everyone's going to the doctor to prevent it, and everyone's active in their health and well-being, so better make a little money with everyone than make
yep,
a lot of money off of people that are just dying. And I
yeah,
think that's
yeah, yeah.
yeah,
No, it's the truth. It's absolutely the truth.
yeah.
So that takes up a fair chunk of my time, but I'm also working locally. Um, I live on the shore in New Jersey,
Lucky you.
town called
Yeah.
Forked River. Huh?
Lucky you.
Yeah, not when it comes to traffic. Come on.
I hear, but when you're in
Summertime, Summertime, we avoid the Garden State Parkway, let me tell you.
You can go to the
Anyway,
beach now. Right now, you go to the beach. It's a little.
yeah, oh yeah, I'm 20 minutes, I'm on LBI. So
There
yeah,
you go. There you go.
yeah.
Nice.
It's nice when everybody goes home. Sorry to say that, but it's nice when everybody goes home.
Yes.
But what's happening here in my town, um, there are homes built right along Barnegat Bay, and people can argue over as to what's causing it, but things are changing and the water's getting higher. And there are neighborhoods now that are threatened that within 5, 10 years could be underwater. And I'm working with a neighborhood group here to work with our local government to see if they'll do something. We have lots of recommendations, but they seem to be very hesitant and say the money's not there. But I don't know what the story is. But
Well,
we need to pay attention to what's going on. You can argue over what's causing it as much as you want, but you can't argue over when you go and look at the water and see how high it is and how much of the land that used to be between these homes and Barnegat Bay has eroded and is gone. And now the slightest little storm, not even a nor'easter, and these people have water washing up against the back of their sliding glass doors. And it's a scary thing. It's a
it,
scary thing.
I think it's, separately of science, and all these scientists around the world have proven that, there is a serious situation happening.
Yeah,
We're co-creators. I believe the earth is changing and we're just moving it along much faster
faster.
by
Hmm.
through, because everything's toxic. The whole environment is toxic because we're not
Yeah,
making the wrong choices, obviously.
yeah,
Feel that I feel like things could change quite rapidly if people did collectively come together and say, look, let's do everything we can to slow it down. I think it would shift, like when during COVID, when people stayed home,
hmm,
and things that were better as far as the climate. Things were just because we were in the house,
yeah.
everything was starting to change. There was less pollution. As soon as we get back,
Well,
people go,
less people weren't driving their cars and putting the carbon into the atmosphere,
right, right.
which
So,
is when we get to politics, we're all rolling down in that
well,
direction.
that's the direction we're okay with that, because I'm going to honor you at the end of this broadcast and let you finish up, because who you are as a politician, with a great intent. So we're going to honor you at the end for what you did
Right.
as far as helping with cancer.
Yeah. Yeah.
But let's talk about a little bit about the Green Party and
Okay.
you and your position with it, and
Right.
what you intend to do if you become a congressman, which I greatly wish for you. Yeah.
Well, yeah, the Green Party, I'll give you a little political history. Um, I was the Democratic chairman in my town from 2004 through 2013. Did everything I could to get Democrats in Ocean County, in case people don't know, is a extremely, extremely red county.
Mhm.
Did everything I could to get people elected here from the Democratic Party during those years. But late in the game, I found out that the leadership of my party in Ocean County reported directly to the Republican leadership. And I said, why am I wasting my time? So in 2015, I ran for township committee as an independent candidate. And then in 2016, I joined up with the Green Party. And the Green Party, um, a big part of the Green Party, as far as I'm concerned, is they take no money from corporations. They take no money from special interests. They take no money from PACs. So the only people we're responsible to are those people who come out and vote. Okay. There's no special deals for this company or that company. And we talk about food and how bad our food is. Well, part of the reason we have bad food is because we've got people elected in Washington, D.C., who do the bidding of companies like Monsanto, et cetera, et cetera. And I don't mean to get on that path, but yeah, that was a big part of it. They believe in grassroots democracy, equality for all people, that every human life is worth, every person is worth dignity and having dignity, etc. There's a whole list of 10 different things that we go by. Uh, Environmentalism is a big part of it also, but a lot of people automatically think Green Party, hey, you're a tree hugger. No, there's a lot more to the Green Party than just environmental issues. And we can talk about those as we go down the road. But I joined the Green Party in 2016. Actually, I filled out my party declaration form on election day 2016, and basically became active with the Green Party of Ocean County. Right now, I was a co-chair for 3 years that ended in June. But I've been the elections chair, which is the person who's responsible for finding candidates and helping them with their campaigns, et cetera. Um, Probably for, oh my goodness, it's got to be 4 or 5 years now that
Mhm.
I've been the elections chair. And this year, very proud to say, and I worked very, very hard for this. In New Jersey, in every congressional district, if someone wants to vote for a Green Party candidate, we have one in every congressional district along with a Senate candidate. And
Mhm.
we're calling it the Green 13 because there's 12 congressional districts in New Jersey.
Oh,
So
nice.
we filled every single one. And boy, it's a lot of personalities. And I don't know if you ever heard the expression herding cats, but it's a lot like herding cats. Just
But
to let you know.
when I mentioned earlier that you would have my vote, it wouldn't be, not because it's the Green Party. I can't, as a chairman of a foundation, vote for any party. But
Right.
as an individual, I respect you. I will say that to you.
Thank you.
And
Thank you.
that's why you're on the show. So, that being said, I want to talk about, your passion for the environment,
Right.
and why, and the seriousness of it. And regardless of party lines, we could push the party aside. And
Yeah.
why is it so important for you?
Environment? Well, I've seen the changes. I mean, growing up as a kid, I grew up in Monmouth County and you went up the street and it was all woods and we'd go back. There was a place called, quote, quote, the old castle that we'd walk back on a dirt road and hang out back in the woods. And it was great. I mean,
Mm,
growing up where I grew up, I feel like I was blessed to grow up the way I did. I really do. But I see more and more, uh, those woods are gone. There's
mm,
houses everywhere. Okay. Where I live here in Ocean County, I live in a town called Forked River, which is the home of Oyster Creek Nuclear Generating Station, which is in the process of being decommissioned.
wow.
And on two-lane Route 9, which we've been told by the state will never be expanded. And they're putting, what, 258 townhouse units up on Route 9 in the north end of town. They just put, I think it was 90 something in the center of town, and they're putting like another 120 at the south end of town. And I'm saying to myself, okay, if something happens while they're decommissioning Oyster Creek and all these places are completed, there's no way you're getting out of town. There's absolutely no way you're getting out of town. And, the word I get is, well, if we try to stop these people from building, then we'll get sued and we'll have to pay them for their property. And I'm like, you know what? Then something's wrong with the law if that's the case, because there's a point where it becomes a danger to, and I use the expression when I'm at the meetings in my town, like yelling fire in a crowded theater. Okay. To me, to overdevelop, especially in a situation where they're decommissioning a nuclear power plant, it's a mile from my home. Um, that I mean, to me, it's just insanity as far as I'm concerned.
It's sad that, there are, there are people in power that are good people, and there are
Hmm.
people in power that can't see straight. The money is so much bigger than
Right.
anything. So for them, it's about that consuming and controlling
Yeah.
and building at anyone's expense. And they don't care about the environment because their mind in 20, 30 years, they're not here. Who cares what they do?
Yep.
So
Yep.
they that mindset by a few in power,
Yeah.
whether it's at a local level, at a state level, at a government level, worldwide level, there are people in power that just don't see the connectiveness of the whole. Right.
That's all they care about is the
That's
money.
that's
And I'll give you another example. Pinelands Commission, which a while ago was stacked with anti-environmental people, if you will. They had a plan to put a frack gas pipeline through the Pine Barrens down here in New Jersey.
yeah.
Under the Pine Barrens is one of the largest clean, it's an aquifer. I think it's the largest one between Maine and Florida. Okay. Billions of gallons of clean water in this aquifer. And
Oh,
they want to put a frack gas pipeline. through there. And I was at a township committee meeting. I went to the Pine Barrens meeting and I voiced my opinion very loudly to let you know. And I was at a township committee meeting and they were like applauding. One of the people on the Pinelands Commission was a township committeeman from my town. And they were applauding him for moving forward with this. And I got up and I said, "Hey, I hope you guys can drink your money because when the water's polluted, I don't know what people are going to be drinking, you know." So
There's a disbelief or an ignorance to these decisions they're making, right?
yeah,
I do
yeah.
believe, look, here's my thoughts about this. And, with, I mean, as a sideline, I helped Kennedy, I had a national role with Kennedy, safety and
Hmm.
de-escalation. So I got to hear, see, and feel so many of the things in that campaign. In
Right,
fact, I met him yesterday. I was in Washington, D.C. I met him, and Tulsi was right there, and a whole host of people. It was a private dinner. And
right.
that being said, I learned so much about the establishment and by certain few in power that just do whatever. And there's nobody holding them accountable. And we're in a time now that all of this is changing. Doesn't matter what party you're in, to me. It's there's
Mhm.
certain people in each party are realizing that if we don't stop what we're doing, we won't exist, right?
Yeah,
Whether
yeah.
it's continue to put pipes underground, thinking that everything's going to be okay. Like if they put a pipe underground, they said, look, in 10 years, we're going to use all other energy, we're going to close the pipeline, and it was an actual plan. I'd almost be open to that. But there isn't. They just keep putting pipes underground. They don't care. And when they leak, we're done. And
Yep.
that's when I realize that you cannot drink that kind of water, and we need water to exist. They don't realize that, but they're not
This,
thinking about the
yeah,
children of the future generation.
yeah.
You don't hear, even when you hear these politicians talk, they debate the people who ran for president, I won't say their names, not
Yeah.
once say the word children.
Right,
Not
right.
it's
Future. How about the word future too? Yeah,
right. But say
yeah,
children because you say children, it's more personal. Everybody has a
yeah.
child, or most people, many people have a child. So, or
Yep.
they've had children to know
Hmm.
what are they going to drink?
Yeah, yeah. And this water that I'm talking about will be water that those generations, future generations will need. So if
Right.
you destroy that, what are they going to drink? And it's coming around already. There's going to be wars over water. Okay.
Mhm.
Because already on this planet, there's issues. The Colorado River is drying up, and a lot of the sources will come from the Colorado River. So it's starting already. It's scary, John. It's really scary.
It's scary, but let's just say this. People like you create that hope, right? So as long as you exist and as long as you have your voice and you're using your platform with that voice, there
Mhm.
is a future. We have to remember that those who are watching this, wherever they are, whatever party line they're in, we don't care. This is about bringing harmony in the world, harmony power. It's about caring about the planet, caring about each other, loving humanity, loving the world, loving the earth. The earth
Mhm.
is what we are, and
Yep.
a separate thing. Everything that's in the earth is in our body.
Yeah.
If we poison it, we're poisoning ourselves.
Yep.
And this is where people are lacking in that thinking.
Yeah.
But but I do feel because of these kinds of conversation, like we're having this conversation, we're not the only
Hmm.
in this conversation. There's a lot of it going on right now. There's a lot of people deeply concerned that are taking action,
Yeah.
just like you.
Yeah. Yeah.
I have this
Now,
here.
when you were talking about that, though, I was thinking one thing I do once a year, and I missed last year, but I go over to Delaware Bay, either
Mm,
Cape May County or Cumberland County,
yeah.
and we tag horseshoe crabs,
Mm,
and they track the movement of the horseshoe crabs. I mean, to me, I have a wonderful time. It's a wonderful thing, and I love to do it.
mm,
And I think to myself when I'm doing it, and I said it to the people, that I was with this year. I said, I think that I'm tagging this horseshoe crab, and this basically ancestors of this horseshoe crab, okay, have been on the planet in this shape and this form since dinosaurs were walking in this water.
mm.
And it's just like because on the earth with our atmosphere, nothing goes away. So even whatever the dinosaurs were, and now they're fossil fuel, I have to say, it's all still here. It's all still here. Nothing goes away. and we're part of that. We're part of that,
We are
you
part,
know?
there's no
Yeah,
discount.
yeah.
But I want to go back to the beginning because I want to conclude this award. I want to honor you today. It's very, very important that we do
All
that.
right.
And I
Thank
want
you.
to go back to the children again, and not just the children, but with cancer research and what you've done is quite extraordinary. And say the name of it for the viewers again, the name of the organization.
Well, Relay for Life is a program that's run by the American Cancer Society. ACS can, we have to be separate because our any donations to us is not tax deductible because we are a lobbying organization. But we get ACS can, American Cancer Society Cancer Action Network. We're the ones who go and we lobby state level and federal level legislators to make sure and ask them to fund cancer programs properly.
That's amazing. Well, here's this award. I'm going to show it to you, viewers, and we're going to send it to you.
Thank you.
It says Harmony Power Certificate of Award. Barry Bander has been awarded this certificate for dedication, commitment, and outstanding efforts in promoting harmony in the world. And you do that by helping children, helping people with cancer, raising money for that. You're trying to make our environment healthier so we have a healthier future. And you're taking that stand in everything you do. And there's talks that you do and the speeches. I saw one of your speeches, and I think it's wonderful what you're doing. And it's
Thank you, John.
your heart. And I think that's what it's about.
Yeah,
That's what it's about. It's beautiful.
yeah. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Yeah, it's a pleasure and honor to have you on our broadcast.
It's a pleasure to be here, John. It's nice
Thank
to meet you in person finally.
Absolutely.
Yes.